This is what my CheckPassword2 program looks like when I run it. So here I'll click run and it asks me to enter a password. Passwords must be between 10 and 20 characters long. They have to contain at least one upper or lowercase letter, one number, at least one of the following special characters. No other characters are permitted, and of course they have to match. This is just like it would be if you were actually to change your password. So if I type in my password, now of course it's covered by these little dots, just like a regular password field. Now if I click this little checkbox with the eyeball next to it, it shows up. Now I already wrote this code for you, but I think it's kind of cool, so I included it. So if my password is pizza, of course, it says it's not valid. Well, not only does it not match, but it doesn't contain numbers or special characters, and it's not long enough. So let's make something I think that's long enough. Still no good, right? But if I enter the same password down here, it should say your password is valid and has been changed. All right, let's take a look at the code. Now, the top of this should be quite familiar. This is just some HTML, you know, this is a heading and some text. This is an unordered list, right? The required password criteria here. And then I have an input box, and you have seen this before too, but this input is of type password. Now, type password is what makes it show up as little dots when you type it in, just like a regular password field. And I gave it an ID of password1, a length of 20. And then this little checkbox, I have an input type checkbox, and when I click it, I run a function called show, and this funny looking thing is the emoji, that little eyeball. You can look up emojis in HTML. There's all sorts of different codes, and you can put any emoji you want on there. And then here is my confirm password. That is also an input. Oh, wait a minute, where I am? I'm losing my, okay, my input type password, pass2, is this field right here. And then I have a button called verify right there, and it runs my method check. This is the method that you need to write. You need to write the check function, which determines if the password is valid or not, but based on all these criteria. All right, let's take a look at the function show. Now I'm going to give you this, and it's all written for you here. I just think it's kind of cool. So when you click the checkbox, it runs the function called show. It's pretty simple. I just use my document.getElementById password1 type, pass1 type, right? That's this type right here. And if it's of type password, I'm changing it to text. That's what makes it show up. So pass1 and pass2, I'm changing their types to text, else I'm changing their type back to password. Pretty cool. Yeah, I wrote that for you. Okay, you need to write the function called check. Check, and I already wrote a little bit for you, is going to get the element by ID pass1, pass2, right? It's going to get these two values right here, put them in a couple of variables called pass1 and pass2, right? It's just getting what is in these two text boxes right here. And then I have a bunch of other variables to help you get started. I have a variable called alpha characters because the password has to contain one of these guys, upper or lowercase letter. I have a variable called numbers because a password must contain a number and it must contain a special character. So really, all your code needs to do is make sure that the two passwords, the new one and the confirm password, are the same. They have to be at least 10 characters, and they have to contain at least one of each of these types of characters here. An alpha character, a number, and a special character, and no other characters are permitted. So I gave you a good start to this project. And so some tricky parts, but I know you can handle it, and thank you so much for watching.